America's homeless crisis is exploding out west. Cities like LA, Portland, San Francisco, just riddled with needles, villages. It's disgusting. Laura Ingram just took a trip to San Francisco, talked with some locals to figure out what actually is going on. And it wasn't good. Actually, it was actually really sad. Watch this.
To me, fentanyl has been like something that's helping keeping me alive. It helps me not think about some of the trauma that I've been through. When I don't get it, I can't breathe sometimes, or I have anxiety really bad. But when I have it, I immediately calm down.
Okay. These people are in trouble, and people are just letting it happen. If you really wanted to help, you'd show them tough love. You'd force drug addicts to change, kick them off the streets, make them choose. But it turns out you aren't even allowed to do that in San Francisco. You could, but then you'd owe them a bed. That's the law. Here's how a San Francisco police lieutenant describes it. Listen.
You get to stay out here and do as much drugs.
You can just live out here, do as much drugs as you want.
Yeah, because the injunction about clearing tents and homeless encampments.
So you can't clear it out?
Can't do that, no, right?
Is that a
but
federal?
They want us to, but we can't do it by law, right? A judge says no, unless you can provide a bed for every person you see out here. And my whole thing is, when did that fall on us?
Look, we feel bad for everybody. Addiction's ugly. But these aren't kids on the streets. These are grown men and women who made a choice. And instead of getting sober and getting a job, they just want to shoot up all day on the sidewalk. It's not a secret. Homeless people, pretty open about it. Listen.
There should be housing for you.
I don't want housing.
Then, so what do you want? Just to sit here then?
Yeah.
You should want better for yourself.
I like it like this. I like the fresh air.
And what's your plan to get off the streets?
I don't. I'm dedicated to a life of homelessness and poverty.
Once you're out here in the outdoors, it gets in your blood. And it's hard to, I don't want to be in a stuffy room. I don't want to be in a stuffy apartment building.
But what you're saying is that right now, there's no housing you would accept. You prefer the outdoors, you prefer the streets.
Yes, absolutely.
So the guy just admits it. Even if the government handed him the keys to a beautiful 3-bedroom apartment, he wouldn't take it. So the Democrats can just keep tossing money at the homeless problem. But unless you clean up the streets and force these people to change, it's never going to end. Tom Wolf's a former homeless fentanyl addict and founder of the Pacific Alliance for Prevention and Recovery. So you were addicted, and now you're not addicted. Yep. It's a choice these people are making.
Yeah, and it's kind of an impossible choice because with fentanyl, after a certain point, you really don't have a choice. You have to keep using, and you have to keep using every 2 hours. And if you're addicted to fentanyl, that's more important than just about anything else. In fact, drug addiction becomes more important in general than everything else, including a roof over your head. And you're going to choose that every single time over everything else.
So if you're hooked on fentanyl and you don't take it, what happens to you?
Well, you go into horrible, horrible withdrawals. You get really, really dope sick. I think that's the term that's used. And you'll pretty much do anything to get more, including, shoplifting, stealing, committing crime, whatever it is that you need to do to generate money so that you can get that fentanyl to get that fix. And if you're homeless on the street, that's a pretty hopeless existence. So when people are telling you, no, I just prefer to stay this way and stay on the street, that usually the underlying issue underneath that is drug addiction. And so we need to figure out a way to stop the drug addiction to give these people a chance at some hope and recovery.
Well, it's up to each individual, is it not? I mean, we can't just keep expecting the city of San Francisco to fix it. They won't do anything right. It's got to be up to the individual. They're not victims. They're individuals that have choice. They have freedom. They have free will.
So that's true. And they're also slaves to addiction, which kind of complicates the issue. So the way I look at it is that there's a subset of people on the street that require intervention. That means we're going to have to go in there and not necessarily give them a choice, take them to get medical attention and put them into treatment to try to get them clean. And hopefully along the way, those people will find recovery. For the ones that don't want to participate, that want to continue to live out there, you know, we as a community have to make a decision, as a society has to make a decision what we want to do with that. Do we want to create shelters and put them in shelter, housing, whatever, but the street cannot be the permanent location for these folks to live because it's creating great harm to themselves and great harm to the community. How did you kick drugs, Tom? Well, I was held accountable. I had to go to jail for a few months to sober up, and then I went to a six-month drug treatment program, and that really changed my life. And so, like I said, there's a subset of us that need that kind of intervention. And so that's why I support, you know, the police department and the federal efforts that are going to happen in San Francisco to try to clean up the streets. We got to get the drug dealers off the street. They're driving a huge percentage of this problem. We have over 500 organized drug dealers operating in plain sight in San Francisco. If you remove them, a lot of this other part of the problem that we're talking about actually goes away. Yeah, who'd have thought? Maybe you arrest some drug dealers, some drug addicts, and homeless people once in a while. You shape things up pretty quickly. Tom, thanks very much. Thank you, Jesse.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.